We're obsessed with the Connie Pheiff Show. It's about a lifestyle shift to move up or out.
Hey, what's your jam? What's the one thing that really drives you? What makes you unstoppable?
It's about opening a new door to live your dream.
People give up way too early on their dreams.
It's about enjoying the journey. It's about keeping it real.
Damn, now the interviewee is interviewing the interviewer. I like this.
It's all about you.
I knew there was something else I wanted to do. Stop taking shit so seriously. Y'all can do this. Take an outrageous look at life and laugh.
This is the Connie Pheiff Show.
We love your voice. We love your jam. You need to be on radio.
And now your host, Connie Pheiff.
Well, hi there, and welcome to the Connie Pheiff Show. I'm Connie Pheiff, your unstoppable diva, and I can't thank you enough for being here. All of our listeners, you are the one that makes our show great. You're the one that comes back time and time again, and why we get these reports that tell us we have 6.5 million impressions to our show just last month. I want to thank you for being here. It's just phenomenal, and thank you for sharing, and keep sharing, and heart us like crazy, because we love you too. And really, why our loyal listeners come back over and over again. And I'm one to do a little survey from time to time. And we did one recently where everybody got a Dairy Queen ice cream. But we asking why do you come back? What is it about our show that is so attractive to you? And a lot of things that we learn really is what we do and what we talk about, and that is providing information, the tools, the skills, the tips for enhancing your personal development, enhancing your lifestyle business, building that lifestyle business, having that confidence, having that courage to do that and go out and do that. And that's exactly who we work with. We work with our clients to help them and work with them to turn their success into profit. I work with the world's most daring minds, and I truly believe that is exactly who we work with. And those we work with, we're pretty selective who we work with in our agency, our talent concierge agency. But those that we do decide to work with, it's kismet. It's a match. It's exactly who we need to be working with, and they're exactly what they need to be to help them turn that success that they've already had in their life and really take that and turn that into a thriving business, whether it's speaking or writing their book, their documentary, whatever that might be, or maybe even do podcasting interviews. All around that thought leadership, that's what we do. And again, I want to thank you, because we do work with their clients to turn their success into profit for the world's most daring minds. So again, share, and give us a little heart. We heart you too. So let's move on with today's show. Phenomenal guest. Where do I start? Today, you are going to learn how to unlock the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself. And we're going to talk about that today with our guest, who is a global thought leader, an international speaker, a spiritual mentor, and a #1 best-selling author. She has a unique gift to identify and eradicate the unconscious programs that undermine our success. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you're able to do that, then you can instantly amplify your ability to live freely and thrive. She offers a very rare combination of business savvy, transformational leadership, and soul enrichment. She's very down to earth. Her wisdom, and couple that with all of her multi-dimensional gifts, and she really does create a profound, sustainable shift in everyone that she comes in touch with. So welcome to the table, Sandra Biskind, who is committed. You are committed to working with leaders who are passionate about reaching that next level of success and being the world's most greatest minds.
Yeah. Thank you, Connie. It's just really an honor to be here.
Well, I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled that you were here. When we realized before the show, we're not that far from each other. Next time we'll do a live show, a face-to-face show. So, as me, I don't know too many people that are native of Southern California, and you do have a very distinct accent. So, where are you from originally?
I was born in Australia and lived there for 45 years until I met my husband in New Zealand, an American man who was getting New Zealand citizenship. And then I moved to New Zealand and lived there with him for 15 years.
Okay.
And then we lived by divine guidance. So we were told that this incredible resort that we had built on a power place of unconditional love, we were told that we had to recreate that beautiful high frequency of love wherever we were in the world, and that once we could do that, we had to sell the resort and come to America. And I'm going, no, not America. New Zealand's far enough away from my home and family.
Right.
But it was to LA, and so here we are. We've been here for 6 years.
Oh, it's about the same time as me. It'll be 6 years in October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
it feels like forever though, doesn't it? It's just
It
like
does.
we are where we belong.
We definitely are where we belong. For me, my spiritual guide and my pull is still back to the East Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
It
So where are you going?
October.
Really?
I am.
Oh, that's exciting because, you absolutely know when you get that spiritual guidance that
You do.
well, as much as we want to kick back and weave and say, no, God, please choose somewhere else, we just know we have to go there.
And I've been doing that. I definitely have been doing that, and came here with my husband with his company, and he shifted himself this past year. And his shift is also pulling him, but what he does is here. So we're buying a second home on the East Coast, and like I said, I'm going in October. We've already put the steps into place to make it happen.
Congratulations!
Yes, and I couldn't be more. Even over the weekend, my husband's he's like, I'm surprised you're not packing yet.
It won't take you long.
That's what I said. I said, sorry, I have it up here. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm calling the mover today. Watch, he's already been here. I'm calling him back to confirm the date. So it's all in the works, but he'll stay here, and we'll do the back and the forth for a bit of time. So a lot of the work that you do, and you mentioned that, and what you do is really a rare combination of business transformational leadership and also that soul enrichment. So a couple of things I wanted to go there. I really wanted to talk about the energy field. And like I said, I truly understand, and I know when we're pulled and that energy around us, and even for me being here, and it's beautiful. It is just beautiful here. But that energy is still pulling me someplace else. So, and you talk about the energy of multiple past lives that also affects our current energy field. So how does that really affect us and impact us?
Yeah, well, you would have heard of Nikola Tesla. He was the man and the genius who is known as the genius who lit up the world. And he said that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, you have to think first in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency.
Right.
So all of us are energetic beings, and we're very powerful energetic beings. Mm-hmm. And one of the most powerful parts of us are our thoughts.
Yeah.
So that both conscious and unconscious. So it's our thoughts that are creating our frequency, or the energy that we're vibrating at around us. And those thoughts can come from your parents, they can come from your conditioning as a child, and they can come from past lives. And the majority of the time, believe it or not, 95% of the time, those thoughts are unconscious. In other words, they're hidden below the surface.
Yeah.
We like to say they're in the white space.
Right.
No, because if you have one tiny dot on a sheet of big white paper, that tiny dot is your conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have much to say when the unconscious really, pulls rank. And unfortunately, it pulls rank often, and it's always triggered by the programs that are hidden there. And so when you become aware that all of these beliefs, programs, ideas, and stories that we carry around with us that have an emotional charge attached to them, they can get triggered off, and we can say and do things that we're going, whoa, is that really me? Did I really do it?
Right.
They also create negative life patterns, and they sabotage our ability to have the money, the abundance, the love, the life that we want. And the fact is, it's just not our problem because we don't know. As Jack Canfield said, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And that's why working in the unconscious mind and tapping into those frequencies that are stopping us and triggering us, for me, it's the most important thing you can do for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What you're talking about with the energetic guidance is that you're actually talking about what physicists and scientists call tapping into our superconsciousness, or the 0 point field of all information. And if your listeners are interested, they should get a book by Bruce Lipton called The Biology of Belief, or by Lynn McTaggart, a good friend of mine, called The Field. And both of these people are talking about the scientific research that has gone into past lives, energy field, superconsciousness, and the fact that we can all really tap into that and get the information that we need at any time. And if you're getting this pull to the West Coast, it's because there's a part of you that's, like they're downloading this and it's saying, okay, this is where you need to be for now. And it's almost like you don't need to know why. You just know that when you don't follow that guidance, things go wrong. And when you do follow that guidance, you end up, exactly where you should be. Right. And so following divine guidance, which is what you're about to do, very, very important. And it has an energetic, divine guidance is fully the most, that's the highest frequency guidance that you can get. So when you go with that, like I was told, given this guidance that I was going to marry this American gentleman before I even met him. And I'm like, oh, no, God, I'm not going to do that. No. And he walked in and I've gone, I'm definitely not God. You've made a big mistake. And I did kick him back. But it was a done deal, He asked me to marry him on our very first date. And actually, on our first date, we agreed that we were married as of that moment.
Okay.
Because that guidance is, it didn't mean that it was easy. It just meant that we knew that this is what we were meant to do. This was a divinely arranged marriage, like your divinely arranged move.
Right.
And, 20 years later, we wake up in the morning and look at each other and still thank God for this relationship. And
we have too much on the same path here because us as well, 20 years. New Year's Eve for us it was, 20 years.
Wow.
And we had a very similar experience when we first met.
Blessed ones, we're the blessed ones.
Yes. And that's the one thing that I've always been blessed with, having that gift and understanding that gift. And that's why I've done a lot of research around that myself. And you use it for your clients in leadership and in business. So how do you bring that into that mix when you're talking about business or transformational leadership? How do those gifts help your clients achieve success and to be better?
Well, we work with, really successful entrepreneurs and leaders, and they know that there's always another level to go. And
yes.
But the reason why I love working with them the most is because they've got the mindset, they've got the tool set, they've spent, all of their resources, time, energy, money on becoming the person they already are.
Right.
However, they know that there's still got these niggly little things. Like I've just come out of an interview with Panache Desai. He is considered an enlightened being. And I did an interview with him, and he actually asked me to work with him on the interview so that he could get free of an unconscious program.
Right.
So what happens is that you can work with a lot of other people who do brilliant work in the world. I mean, there's so much good stuff happening.
There is.
Yeah, but if you're not working in the white space, you're still going to have ancient or old events, emotions, and decisions that are running your life that you don't know are there.
And you're absolutely right about, and again, I work with that level of individual who I say have been in the trenches. They've been to the circus. They know what it takes, and they definitely and fully understand that there's always another way of looking at things. There's always another way. But I like how you're saying it, working in that white space to really, magnify the gifts that they have to bring back to the world, because there are so many people doing some fabulous things out there. And, they're always looking for that mentor, that guidance, that someone, that guru that's going to help them and take them to the next level of their success.
Yeah, well, I think until you know how to do it for yourself, really being able to have somebody who can clear out that old unconscious stuff is really, really important. And I know that, I quoted Jack before because Jack's been, I'm one of his spiritual mentors.
Okay.
I've worked with him, his family, and all of his stuff. And what he loves, and he brings us into work with his students, is that he teaches them some of the most profound success principle work and trainings on the planet. And what he says is, hey, I can teach them this unless they can get in under what's stopping them from utilizing.
Right.
From getting the maximum return on investment, then they're not going to succeed. And so that's why these people bring us in, because we can delve into the root of the problem. I mean, I love empowering people to change their frequency so they can show up as the best version of they are, completely clear and free of unconscious programs. And I think that's, my mission, and Daniel and I together, our mission is to help set people free.
Now, is that the code? No, is that the code breakers?
I'm going to show you this.
Okay.
Codebreaker, discover the password to unlock the best version of you. This is our legacy work in the world. Now, a lot of people just simply can't get to us or can't afford it to work with us one-on-one or in our live events or online programs. And so what we did was we said, okay, let's put this entire system that we help people change their frequency and change their state instantly, like from going from worry and anxiety into trust,
right,
fear into love, from unforgiveness into peace. Let's give them the password and system that they can use to crack that success code. And this was 40 years in the making, 5 years in the writing, and during that 5 years, we worked with thousands of people around the world testing the system and the process to make sure that what we were saying in the book was 100% accurate. So the results we're getting is that people's businesses are going through the roof. Just one quick thing, we just had a 3-day event. We've got another one coming up in July. One man was a real estate agent, and they were struggling a little bit. And so he got up and I cleared out some of the unconscious money blocks. And they went to lunch. He came back. He said, you won't believe this. I have 2 over the $1 million mark properties on the market. And during lunch, I just got offers on both of them. And he said, wow, what is that? And I'm going, that's what happens when you are free from what is stopping us from having the abundance. And my mantra for everyone is more love, more friends, more family, more joy, more money. It's like, that's what we've come here to experience. And the only reason why we're not is because of these unconscious programs.
Well, let's take a really quick break. And when we come back, I have a question for you. I started reading your book, and there's one area about forgiveness.
Oh, yes.
So if we could talk about that, so just hang in there really quick, and we'll be right back. The Connie Pheiff Show is heard everywhere. You can find The Connie Pheiff Show on most of your favorite networks. It's time to now recognize and thank our major networks for all of their support. In the house, we have Conscious Business Radio, C-Suite Radio, Transformation Radio, iHeartRadio. We are also heard on Google Play, Apple, Radio, Stitcher, and so many more that I just can't keep up with them all. I'm Connie Pheiff, your unstoppable diva. Learn more about our gym and how we can work together at my fancy schwanky website, ConniePheiffShow.com. I'll see you over there. Until then, like, share. Now back to the show. And we're back, and we are here on the Connie Pheiff Show. I'm Connie Pheiff, and our unstoppable guest for today is Sandra Biskind. I forgot where I was for a moment because I've been so engrossed in our conversation. So the question that I had, and when I was reading some of your material that you and your husband wrote together, is forgiveness. You talk about forgiveness as a major component of our system.
Yes.
Okay. And so I guess, and I've learned the importance of that over years, because there was somebody that I had to forgive from childhood, and because of everything that is going on in the world today, and everybody's like, I know I'm not going to say it eloquently, but everybody's attacking each other, and you're not looking at me right or talking to me right, and I have so much angst that's been built up in my past, and you talk about that. But why is it so important to forgive?
Such a big subject.
I mean, it's a hot.
It is because when you can't forgive, these events and people take up rent-free space in our mind, and our ego mind is a master at separation.
Mm-hmm.
Separates us from our heart, from God, from each other. We go into judgment. We get attached to our stories. Mm-hmm. We're right, they're wrong. So when we get stuck in that loop, the ego mind will never, ever forgive. It might say, oh, I forgive you, but that's really just still judgment. The only place that true forgiveness comes from is from our true self.
Yes.
Like, that's the perfection and divinity that we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's that big-hearted place. That's where we forgive from. And I call forgiveness enlightened self-interest, because there was a Harvard study done where they studied people who could and couldn't forgive, and the ones who couldn't, they said that holding a grudge can kill you. These people that couldn't forgive, they were prone to cancer, high blood pressure,
right,
stroke, unhappiness, poor relationships, colitis. And then the people who did forgive, and I mean really forgave, they had happier relationships, more success in life. They didn't have any of the markers for those diseases. Now, that's a big reason to forgive. That's why I say it's enlightened.
Right.
Now, people can do such shocking things to us, and we can experience such horrendous challenges, and I don't think there's a human being on the planet that has been exempt from something or something that has.
Yes, really, everybody has. Yes,
that's our hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we teach is radical personal responsibility. So what we're saying is that all of us, remember I said we have the stories and the programs in our unconscious mind?
Yes.
So let's just use this example, because the majority of the women I work with around the world have this one. Let's say that we've got this program and it says, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve love. And I'm writing it across my forehead because that's a frequency that is kind of starts to emanate.
Mm-hmm.
It means that that's the frequency in the script that we are giving unconsciously to the people around us. We're not saying it, but we're oscillating at that frequency.
Right.
I mean, like you might meet somebody who's lovely and they go, wow, that person's really great. Oh, however, they don't love themselves. Oh, however, they don't think they deserve a great relationship. Okay. And they start reading the script in award-winning style.
Right.
When the pain starts. So from now on, when somebody hurts you, and I'm speaking to all of the millions of amazing people who just love your show, Connie, you know, when somebody hurts you, rather than going into, you know, a victim mode,
right?
How about this? How about going into this mode of, wow, that really hurt me. What do I believe to be true about myself that was triggered off then? You hear that's a real inquiry into why that hurt me. And that's called radical personal responsibility. And you'll find that when you do that, you'll find, if you go back to a core, you'll find that, oh, it triggered me because I really believe this. And I've got a really beautiful set of 4 questions that shift people's lives instantly so they can take that responsibility and get out of victim mode. Do you want to know what they are? I
would love to, yes.
Okay. By the way, they're in every chapter.
In the book.
It's so important that we put them into every chapter.
Yes.
To the business people that we work with, when we, for me, for instance, at 27, when I started using these 4 questions, it took me from, I was below zero financially, and 3 years later, because they changed my frequency so much and they got me into creative mode, I became a self-made millionaire by the age of 30. So these 4 questions are really important. So the first one is, you know, how am I feeling? So like before someone came onto their show, they might have felt, well, hang on a minute, I'm upset about where am I going to find the money to pay that bill, or that first date didn't go so well, or, you know, something that's upsetting you. And then the second question is, well, what am I focused on? And when you answer that one, it's like, oh, you know, those dates never work out anyway. Nobody really wants to have a second date with me. Money doesn't come to me easily. And when it does,
negative.
Yeah. And then the third question is, how do I want to feel? Now, this one starts to change your frequency pretty quickly. It's how do I want to feel? Hey, I want to feel confident and trust. It's working out for me for the highest and best good of me and everyone concerned. I want to know that I am a perfect divine being and I deserve love, no matter what I have said or done. And then the fourth question is, what focus will serve that? And that's like, wow. Okay, so now my focus is, wow, I need to be grateful for knowing and understanding that I am a perfect divine being, that I can trust that I'm being looked after, loved, and supported on every level. The minute you start shifting your focus from victim up here,
right,
using inquiry, you come down here where it's much easier to forgive for writing the story and other people for triggering off pain within you. But, you know, I've had business people use those questions and their staff, you know, they no longer have staff turn around, because when you walk into a room and you're oscillating at this really high frequency of and understanding who you are, people naturally want to work with you.
Oh, they want to be with you and follow you, and I went through a lot of this transformation myself. And even when I was CEO, I had to go through that. Yes. And to regain my confidence. And it took me a while for the forgiveness to happen, but it did. And it just, my life just completely changed. And I know exactly what you're saying. It just completely shifted at that point.
Yeah, the minute you can truly forgive, you are set free to move on to the next adventure.
Yes.
Right, yeah. When you're talking about this work with successful people, I had one very, very successful multi-New York Times bestselling author who was a private client, and she was about to go into a meeting with the New York publisher, and she rang me and said, hang on a minute, I'm actually feeling a bit anxious. I'm not sure about this. And so I just spent an hour with her and I went over her entire marketing plan, and then I corrected out the anxiety and the lack of trust and the lack of love, you know, because she was insecure at that stage. And she rang me 3 hours later and said, oh, I just got $1 million advance on this and you did that. And I just burst out laughing. I said, no, you did that.
Right.
Because you showed up, you were prepared with a brilliant marketing plan. You were on such a high frequency and so magnetic and believed so fully in what you were doing in your business that they just wanted to work with you no matter what the cost.
Right.
And I said, well, what did you think you were going to get? She said, oh, in the publishing industry these days, I would have been lucky to get 250,000. So she 4x'd her business by simply getting clear of the unconscious. And that's why this legacy work that is Codebreaker, that's why this is so important, because when your beautiful people go through the book, they'll learn the system, they'll do the inquiry, they'll do the meditations, and they'll get the corrections to actually come to this clear space where they can have similar results.
Well, let me keep moving on, because this is all wonderful information. So this is our hot seat, our straight talk. So in our straight talk, we ask you to complete a couple of questions. So this first question I would like you to complete, which is, I am unstoppable because.
I am unstoppable because I know I am a perfect divine being. And when I slip out of that knowledge, I just bring myself straight back to it, because that's where I want to resonate. That's the best version of who I am.
So the ultimate transformation only happens when?
When you clear out your unconscious beliefs, programs, ideas, and stories.
So what is beyond positive?
Oh, I love that. Going beyond positive is so important, because when you're negative and you're positive, you're still attached to something. So when you go beyond positive, you get neutral, and neutrality is another word for enlightenment. It's where you can become the silent observer of what's going on around you without attaching your perceptions, projecting your judgments, and actually just allowing and being happy to be in the space you're in, and allowing others to show up as they are, even if you don't agree with it. The neutrality is the big kahuna of the transformational world.
Okay, so many of us have a disease to please.
Yes.
And in the work that you do, how are you living your life with intention?
Oh, my intention is very clear, that that whenever I feel fear, negativity, or pain, I understand I've been hooked into an ego mind game, and it's time for me to do a U-turn and get back into being the being that I want to be. And so that intention always keeps me where I need to go. Yeah. And by the way, Daniel and I use the system in the book to help us with that on a daily basis.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. So what is, or answering the question, the sexiest trait on the planet?
I love that too. Because, there's a couple, but one of the sexiest traits on the planet. Can you imagine? I know that you're probably living with this, because Daniel and I know that we are dedicated to each other's happiness, and we're dedicated to supporting our partner into being the best version of who they are. How sexy is that? It doesn't matter what someone looks like. It doesn't matter about anything. If they were absolutely, totally had the conviction that what they wanted to do was to help support you in becoming the best version of you, I don't think there's much sexier than that.
No, I would have to agree. My husband and I are we are definitely soulmates, and
I can feel that.
We joke that we're split apart.
That's probably not a joke.
No, I don't believe that it is. So I definitely understand that. So there is, and we touched on this a little bit. So much negativity that is happening around the world. So do you buy into that narrative?
No, in fact, honestly, I will jokingly say I can't afford the luxury of a negative thought, but in actual fact, it's not really a joke, because the minute you get hooked into that world consciousness, the minute you get to the news, the politics, what's going on in the world, that's the minute that you slip out of neutrality. That's the minute that you can no longer be objective, that you're no longer tapped into your own creativity and wisdom. And it's the moment where you start adding to the negativity. And, we just can't, as transformational leaders, absolutely cannot do that. Our job and mission is to raise the frequency of the planet. And the minute you get hooked into the negativity, you're not doing your job. So, yeah. And we have a mission and purpose to help set people free. So we're not going to be going there.
Right. I mean, that self-negative speak. Yeah, too often. I mean, and that's what we need to move beyond. We need to get beyond that. And the other thing too, and I know for me, I surround myself with truth tellers. I call them my cabinet of truth tellers. So do you do the same?
You're a smart woman.
I just say, I mean, my husband is mine, and trust me, he tells it. But I want him to, between him and my daughter, I want them to be that way, though.
Exactly. So what Daniel and I do is we're incredibly blessed. We're members of the Transformational Council and the Association for Transformational Leaders. So we have around us hundreds of people who actually are on that high frequency, on that information highway that we're on. And every Thursday night in our home, we have 11 people join us for what we call a platinum healing circle. And so I have these angels descend into the home, and we open with a prayer. We give each other divine guidance. And no hiding anything. It's like whatever you're going through, it's out. And it comes with some guidance. And then we have a meditation and a closing prayer. So once a week, Daniel and I are kind of at the spiritual filling station, where no matter what's been happening to us, we get to take a deep breath. We're in this safe haven for the soul. And these people tell the truth. These are the people that they're our sisters and brothers. And I would just say to everybody, find your tribe, find the people who uplift you. Find people who, if you're slipping into victim mode, if you have a slip in your magnificence.
Right, and we do.
Right, all of us do. That they will say, hey, did you realize that you said that, or did you mean to say it that way? Ask questions with no judgment attached. A good friend won't judge you; they'll just continue to love you no matter what you're saying and doing. And so that's the key for me. Is to actually have those people around you. Yeah.
It reminded me, and I just pulled this up really quickly of. Really, an affirmation. Like you said, you had somebody call you. I have this very powerful, high-level businessman that I work with, and and sometimes we have these conversations, and he's like, "Oh, that's all that fluffy stuff." But right, and we got to the point now where he'll call me, before a board meeting or, before something important, just to, again, help clear his mind out. So I actually, with him, we wrote this affirmation that for him to use. And it's when you see me coming, you should be proud. I am coming without ego, without arrogance. I have the pleasure and freedom to fill myself up. So we took it from a place of him, again, making, with the fear of, am I reporting to the board of directors the way I need to be, to he's holding that space within himself.
Absolutely. And now he probably realizes that the fluffy stuff does work.
Oh yeah, he does. And he'll come, okay, give me some of that fluffy stuff.
Right. Well, actually, I kind of like fluffy stuff because it's better than woo-woo or whatever.
Yeah, right. Now,
when our son introduces us at live events, he says, "Oh, I want to introduce you to the skinny Buddha and the mother of dragons, and I'm the spawn of woo."
That's funny. That is funny. So what's next? Where do you go from here? Next project.
Yeah, the next project is in July. We have Del Rey. You should come to this with your husband. It would be super. I want
to. Yeah, I definitely want to get more information.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to this live event.
Okay.
So, for 3 days, we take people, we teach them the system. They're immersed in this beautiful, divine, spiritual energy. People say that it's like spending 3 weeks in India condensed into 3 days. And people are just getting clear. The whole 3 days, they're getting cleared out, because when I work with one person, everyone in the room gets the same correction.
Okay.
absolutely outstanding. After the live event, we're doing a lot of talks, and I think our online programs are what's really blowing me away. Mm-hmm. It's where we have a group of people from all over the world who get to come onto a program called Quantum Source Code, and we spend 16 weeks going through the system in CodeBreaker with 8 live calls. And during those calls, we give people a transmission of energy. We clear them out of unconscious programs. Oh, and that just reminded me, this Thursday, I'm not sure when your show is going live, but if your people are interested in working with us in a free masterclass, this Thursday at 12 o'clock, we've got a free masterclass happening where we're going through all of that. And they get to really have that soul experience.
Okay. We definitely share that information. We could push it out even before we put the show live. So let our listeners know where they can find you.
The best place to find more information about us and how to work with us is the Biskinds, TheBiskinds, theBiskinds.com. And that will just give you loads of information, lots of free meditations and tools. And if you want the book, CodeBreaker, and by the way, don't forget the journal, which goes with it, because when people get a book like this, you have it for a life.
Right.
And you have to get the journal to actually write everything in. The book and journal, the quickest place and the place I'd love you to go to is CodeBreakerBook.com. That's CodeBreakerBook.com. CodeBreaker book, one word.
Okay.
Because on CodeBreakerBook.com, I'm giving you that one simply because we've created 3 free meditations that complement them in the book. Okay. I'd love your beautiful people to be able to have the free meditations.
Lovely. I love that. Thank you. The work that you're doing, and again, I always tell everyone, thank you for being unstoppable with your life. I mean, you're doing more than that. You're just helping so many people. Open that light within them and to be able to find their success. So again, I want to thank you for being here today.
Connie, thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing in the world. It's really wonderful to meet and be with another light soul sister. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And that's all we have for today, everyone. Again, I love our tribe. I love our family. Thank you to our members each week for being here. Remember to keep on sharing. Because the more you share, the more these high quality individual guests that we can bring you and share so much valuable information to help you take what you do and just turn that into a life that you love living, that you love doing. And that's what most lifestyle entrepreneurs are doing because they don't want that 9-to-5 grind anymore. And a lot of our listeners are still there, but that's what they love doing. And we want to make sure that you're doing and you're loving what you do. I'm Connie Pheiff. I'm a recovering C-suite executive, CEO myself, and we will continue to move ideas forward and keeping the passion of life activated. And if you want to do some advertising on the Connie Pheiff Show, just simply head over to theconniepfeifshow.com, and we're always looking for new, wonderful, and exciting guests for the shows. And also make sure that you check out Talent Concierge, talentconcierge.co for details. I'm Connie Pheiff, and I'm going to leave you with this simple quote for today, which is, your limitation is your imagination. I'm Connie Pheiff, and you're listening to The Connie Pheiff Show. Remember to keep on sharing and be the daring mind who turns success into profit. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. Hey, y'all, it's Connie Pheiff. Thank you for listening to The Connie Pheiff Show. Check back often. You don't want to miss any of the good stuff. If you like what you hear and would like to be a guest on the show, head over to theconniepfeifshow.com to apply. While you're there, check out our amazing advertising opportunities that will put you right in front of your perfect client. I will see you over there. Do yourself a favor this week. Activate your power and be unstoppable together.